Hi, everyone, and welcome to another episode of The Narratives, a podcast by Zoho, where we sit down with innovators, creators, and leaders who are shaping the future of work, business, and technology. Today, we are joined by someone who is redefining aviation safety and inspiring the next generation of engineers through innovation, leadership, and education. Our guest today is Marwa Saeed Al Mamari, the first Emirati aerospace engineer and an adjunct lecturer at NYU Abu Dhabi. With a career dedicated to accident prevention and aviation safety, Marwa brings deep experience from both industry and academia, including her work with the UAE's General Civil Aviation Authority. A TED speaker and a passionate advocate for women in STEM, Marwa is committed to opening doors for future engineers and aerospace leaders. Recognized as Emirati Women Achiever, she embodies the UAE's vision for excellence, leadership, and forward thinking. Marwa, we are so excited to have you. It is such a pleasure to sit with you, Marwa, and I really feel honored to be sharing this space with an Emirati woman who is not just coming from the industry that was male dominated, but also making a mark for herself. But I'll start with something that's struck me when I was going through your profile, and it says that you come from an aerospace engineering. Yes, we know that it was male dominated, but how easy or difficult was it? Because whenever we have to define something that says, oh, it's easy, you don't have to worry, we always use a phrase by saying, it's not rocket science. But this truly is.
It is truly a rocket science.
So tell me, how is that? How did you make that easy for yourself?
First, thank you for having me today. And it's always an honor to join this beautiful podcast. I've joined you in different setting before, and I'm happy to join this one. So aerospace engineering is not only limited to space, actually, or rockets. It is for the airplanes and everything related to flying objects, if I may put it this way. It is a male-dominated industry, and I say it over and over, almost in all interviews and even in my conferences and summits. And it was really difficult back then to join because it wasn't made to, it wasn't tailored for women, right?
Absolutely.
It was built to based on what actually male can offer, not women can offer. So it was a first to the industry to receive female, not only in the country, in so many other countries.
Yes.
And it was unusual as well, to be honest. When I decided to join that, and it was totally a decision, a moment made on that moment. I mean, back then in high school, I was tailored to be a doctor all during my school time, of course. I mean, and by time I was in high school, I decided to have a shift in choosing the universities. It wasn't available in the country.
Yes.
And the major itself wasn't available for both male and female. So you had like some introductory courses, which actually can help you eventually move to a university that offer the full degree, the bachelor degree. So just to start with those introductory courses was just another fight to try to join from family perspective and community and social perspective. Thinking of it now, yes, it was very difficult, but I had support from the country, from the leadership, I mean. Sheikh Ahmed bin Saeed, Dr. Ahmed Al Ali, the Chairman, Vice Chancellor of Emirates Aviation University now. Back then it was Emirates Aviation College. And there where I had the initial courses to prepare me for aerospace engineering, and then I had to continue with Coventry University. Only then, when I received their support, my family accepted actually the idea of me joining that major.
That's amazing. What a story. But I see throughout what you were saying also involved a lot of pushbacks that you had through the way,
Rejections,
right?
yeah,
Rejections,
to put it
pushbacks,
straightforward,
challenges. And I heard in one of your podcasts where you're saying that you took up this because it was challenging.
That's true.
Right? So it's not a mind shift that a lot of a lot of people have. They actually are thinking in a very stereotypical mindset where what is put down to you by your family is what you follow. But you actually took up because it was bringing you out of your comfort zone. And that requires a lot of guts because you're fighting community, family, country, you're doing something that was not done at all in history. So tell us how and what triggered that moment of being like, no, sorry, this is challenging, but I want it.
Yeah, I'll tell you, it doesn't happen overnight. It's all because I come from that family that kept on pushing me out of my comfort zone.
Truly.
And very demanding when it comes to education. So they actually somehow put that seed on me and actually was watering it all those years. So indirectly, they were always pushing me to cross barriers and to step out of my comfort zone. And the minute I feel I'm comfortable with this situation, I feel bored and I want to be challenged all the time. So it comes because of that. So it all starts with the family, with the community, and the leadership you're surrounded by. So now, today, when I look back, I can see that pattern, you know, that it didn't happen because, of course, it takes someone who's committed, consistent, all of that.
Yes.
But this can't happen like automatically or
Without
naturally, if
yes.
we say that, may put it this way. It comes because you were tailored to be that person. It's a trait you gain through years.
Truly.
And that's what I always say. I have a very strong mom. You know, I always say that proudly. Back then, I used to always fight with her, and we always had that conflict because she came from that generation who has that mindset of seeking for the better and the best, and you keep trying and never giving up. So even when I got rejected so many times with aerospace engineering because the fact I'm a female, the fact that country doesn't offer that back then, I still fought for that.
Yes.
But this fight came because I was tailored to be a fighter, a warrior, not a quitter. And that's what I always teach my kids now. I raise fighters, warriors, not quitters. So it doesn't matter what you go through in life. You keep fighting, you dust off yourself and stand on your feet and start again.
That's amazing. But can I also say, Marwa, that it comes with a lot of clarity that you had from early on?
Yeah, yes, of course. You need to know what you want. And you need to know your priorities as well. So if you focus today in your career or your education, know exactly what you want. It's okay to have a change of heart later on. I always say that. It's okay, you tried and you didn't like it. You don't feel comfortable. You don't get along with that thing. Just try another thing, but keep on trying because that's only how we thrive, you know, by trying new things and stepping out of our comfort zone.
Truly. This also brings me how you have continued this journey. It's not like you made a name and, okay, it's done.
I didn't know I'm making a name back then.
But imagine, because it's so natural that you didn't even realize. And because the objective was not to make a name, it was to make a difference.
It was a result.
Exactly.
Making a name was just a natural result.
It's a byproduct of your hard work, of your resilience. And I'm so glad and honored to be sitting and saying this, that it's amazing to see and look up to women like yourself, Marwa. So. And you continuing this. I studied about you and it says that you're now doing your PhD in AI.
That's true.
About AI, it's no longer a buzzword. It was once where people were like, oh, AI is the future. You must know about AI. But this is the future. This is where we are in.
True.
And you're studying about it. You're writing your thesis, your papers about it. Tell us if, as a mother, do you see a negative consequences this could have?
All right. Let me first start by explaining what's AI, because for so many people, it's like more like an app, ChatGPT or Google Gemini or something. Yeah. So it's not about that. It's not someone or something that you ask questions and it gives back a brilliant and some
Amazing answers.
mind-blowing, answers. It's not that.
Yeah.
So it's all about integrity, what you feed the system. And I always do that with my students, with the people working with creating AI applications or systems or any pretty much tool that can be based on AI. AI, in short, is a device that or a system that mimics us. So it means we are the base of the artificial intelligence. It doesn't go creative on its own. It has to be fed with information, and that information, the sources, has to be honest and true. The minute you start feeding wrong information, there where you have issues, and yes, there where you have risks, and you get really concerned about AI. But as long as the system is fed with the right information, the relevant information as well, it will always respond in relevant solutions and answers. So that's in a nutshell what an AI is. So in future, dealing, even not only my kids, even the students I'm teaching today, I allow them to use AI, but with responsibility, because this is the case with everything, basically. You need to be responsible toward your work, your family. So it's a mindset of being responsible and integral about your approach. And I do allow my students use it. I do allow my kids to use it, only to figure out, to help them in, processing faster. And
enable them with extra tools.
Yes, it's not to replace them. That's a very huge misunderstanding. It's never there to replace us as human. It's just there as a partner, I would put it that way.
Absolutely. Yeah. What's interesting, what you said right now, Marwa, is you talked about AI, but you also said two major words. You talked about integrity and being responsible with AI. Yes. Well, a lot of times, a lot of upcoming AI tools are missing that piece, is what my understanding says. Because whenever you are talking about feeding information into AI, that's a lot of your personal data. Yep. That's where your privacy is risked. That's where you are losing your security. That's where a lot of data protection, sovereignty comes into place. And I know UAE as a country is taking all measures to be compliant with that. Us at Zoho, we have our Zia AI inbuilt in all our tools, but we are in 100% pro-privacy organizations. But it's not it's not just a vision. It's how our products are built from scratch.
That's true.
Our products do not show you ads. Even if you are going on a trial, it will never have ads. It will never run your data. We host our data on our own data centers. That means no leakage. So these are the things, as a conscious, I think, human, you must practice. And also, when you are working on tools, look into these aspects of what are these tools going to do with the data that I'm feeding into. Because like you said, if it's not relevant, it may have negative consequences.
That's true.
So this also brings me to the topic as an educator, as a lecturer. When you say that you allow your students to work on AI, but responsibly, where do you see that line is drawn? How much of their work is now given out? How much is it going into their learning? What kind of AI do they consume these days? In today's world, AI is no longer a buzzword. It is now the future. Zoho's AI is built to simplify complex data, automate repetitive work, and deliver insights you can actually trust. It's engineered into the products you may already use, from analytics and CRM to finance and operations, helping organizations make smarter decisions without compromising privacy or control. Zoho's AI is designed with the same principles engineers, IT professionals, or entrepreneurs care about: transparency, efficiency, and long-term stability. If you believe good technology should be purposeful, dependable, and responsibly built, explore Zoho's AI capability, built across all the products. To get your free trial, visit zoho.com today.
So they have access to so many types of applications and websites. But what matters to me in the old days, to find information was hard. You didn't have access. It wasn't
Truly.
as easy as today. So that's why back then it was important to memorize, right?
Yes.
To learn by heart and keep it there and then repeat it and put it down in writing and all that. Today you have access to all information in so many different ways.
Yes.
So the approach is different today. I don't want you to remember that by heart. I need you to learn how to find it and to find the relevant information and answers to a certain equation or to certain assignment,
Yes.
So that's what I count on. I don't examine my students in the traditional way. I don't do that. For me, I in case I give, I teach about aviation safety or investigation or accidents. So I'll assign a case of accident that actually happened in the past, but we still can look into more, details and contributing factors, etc., etc. So what I do is actually I assign them that task, and I monitor how they find the information, how they put it together. This is the task, actually. This is the hard work. This is where it takes a lot of thinking, a lot of analytical thinking, and that's what matters to me today as an educator. Will he or will she be able to go out there in the world and solve those real world problems, not just a class course or assignment. And because, to be honest, once you're out there at work, you'll have access to all the information. Can you bring them together? Can you analyze and process and have critical thinking about it and find solution, actually practical solutions, not just theoretical ones that actually can put it in practice? That's what matters to me. And that brings me to the fact that I actually take them to fields, so where they can communicate with the industry people, where they can see enhanced work, where they can deal with real life issues when it comes to the industry and aviation. Meet the people in charge, talk to them, communicate and connect with them, because that's what they need in future eventually to start their career, of course.
Again, going back to words that you mentioned, which are truly, truly small day-to-day words, but so much difference will it make when used rightly. You talked about enhancing. You never talked about how it's done. It's about enhancing what has already been done.
Yes.
And then you talked about responsibility, integrities. We touched upon how this is important to know how you approach AI. Because if you're doing it for the wrong reasons or in the wrong way, you're definitely going down and you're taking this down with you, because ultimately wrong data will give you wrong results. Well, all of this still in some areas, Marwa, is looked at to be a very complex topic. Oh my God, no tech, sorry. There's resistance. There's still a change that not many are seeking fully. They know ChatGPT. They know Gemini. But what truly is AI, like you just explained to us? A lot of them still don't understand the nuisance.
They look at it as a solution.
Correct.
Just to get the things done and the work done. But where it actually can contribute in a bigger ways.
Exactly. And that's where educators like you play a role today. But we always talk about innovation. This is innovation. This was once never talked about. This was once never even thought about, right? And today we are living it, breathing it. But what do you say about
I'll just stop you there. It's not something that we've never thought about. It was actually a continuation of something we started already back then.
Interesting. So, connect the dots for me.
Yeah, I always tell people AI is not new to the industry, to the aviation especially industry. We had automation before, but the difference between automation and artificial intelligence, automation, you just set the process, the request, and it carries on the job the same way you put it. AI evolved in a way where it thinks and analyze
Interesting.
and going more with data, produce more data for
Wow,
you.
I love this.
So
Yes.
that's what I always say. It was never new to the industry, and so many other industries actually. It just evolved from automation to artificial intelligence, where
Yes.
it actually produce even more data and analyze your data that fed into the system.
I think, yeah, it was very well integrated
Yeah.
that we didn't understand when the shift happened.
Yes.
So it was from automation. We were talking about, oh, why do you do routine tasks? You can automate them. And then from that automation, like you rightly pointed out, to now calling
Yeah.
it AI
Yeah.
and, using it for better. Let us know, as an educator, you interact with a lot of young students, someone who are ready to get out in the industry, do something of their own, maybe get into a job. What is this that they have to now enable themselves with? Yes, knowing AI, knowing tools, but there is a lot of human experience that they bring forward.
Yeah.
What are we looking at from that angle?
All right. So I always encourage my students to connect with the industry. Like I have so many different students from different engineering departments,
Yes.
not only
Yeah.
aerospace. So I encourage them to connect to the industry, the most relevant to their education pathway, of
Yes.
course. And because it's important to see to know what to expect in future.
Truly.
To know what you're getting yourself into basically.
Yes.
And to actually be able to find a job. What matters is for fresh graduates to actually have a good start, to
Absolutely.
have someone to support them, to help
Yes.
them. So that's why it's important for any educator to offer that with the courses, to offer them a way to connect with the industry. A way to see how this industry actually working, and to figure out what exactly they want. If this is something I really want, if this is something I want to continue with, or no, maybe I can try something different. So that's your job, to make them think and question and evolve in that sense,
Since we're talking about evolving, Marwa, do you think we can say that sooner or later we say, in the aviation space especially, that we now can look at or expect robots to fly our planes for us? Are we there now?
Our planes already are flown by.
So we are on autopilot. Yes, I know, with the little I know about aviation and
Yes.
how planes fly. But where are we with that? How close are
Very
we?
close, very close.
Really?
Because I'll explain it why. So most of the accidents, airplane accidents and incidents, is because of human errors. And why do we have human errors? So the root of that is because we are very complex creature. We think, we react, right? And we panic. And that can actually cloud your judgment.
Absolutely.
Even for seconds. And for seconds, it matters for someone flying an airplanes.
Truly does.
It's a life or death decision, especially if you're with an emergency and you need to take a second, can actually matter. So with AI, you already fed the system the right and true information. It will take the right decision with no time, zero processing time. And that can save lives, a lot of lives, So back to that, what I always say, it will enhance the decision making. It will minimize the error. And eventually, we will reach to zero accidents and incidents.
Yes.
We are already flying on, like you said, autopilot, which means we can take off, we can land, and we can cruise. And the airplane, if you visit any cockpit, it's really, really as if you are in a spaceship.
Oh, tell me about it.
With all these advanced systems and applications and technologies and devices. So it can literally fly you alone. Truly. It's just, and I'm not trying to eliminate the role of a pilot.
Yes.
No, we will always need a pilot. But in future, the role will shift in a way that will be more like monitoring the flight rather than flying the plane itself.
Amazing.
Same with the air traffic controllers. We are already experiencing that eventually it will be all based on AI. And that's a good thing because it means more safety. And from someone who comes from that,
Yes, you need to
that
assure.
area, it is actually the right approach, where you eliminate the human reactions, let's put it that way, and
Yes.
errors
Yes.
with the AI. As long as we have integrity feeding the system, of course.
Since we talked about AI is not here to take up your jobs, but it's just here to enable and enhance that
That's true.
experience. On the contrary, you talked about how ATCs now are going to be also largely equipped with
Yes.
AI
Yeah.
capabilities. Does that mean lesser jobs by any chance, or does that mean
Shift in jobs, I would put it that way.
right
It will be shift in jobs. We'll always need the human
intervention?
element
Yes.
in the industry. Always. There is no way you can remove that fact.
We talked about a lot of future, Marwa. How it'll evolve, what do you need to be relevant to be able to use the right way, AI the right way. A step back. When you started, you said you did it because it was challenging.
Yeah.
Not many think like that. Like we said, we talk about, oh, it's comfortable, let's stay here and go by it. What were the early days challenges that you think or you have paved the way for other women to follow? What were those challenges, if you could share that, this is now easy, but this was what it was back in the days?
So to start with, as I mentioned before, the major wasn't available. Now you can find it everywhere. In all universities, pretty much in so many universities. Females weren't allowed to join it. Now they are allowed. And not only that, they can thrive in it. And they can actually go as big as they want in the industry.
Truly.
From assistant directors to a director to maybe a minister even. Because we've seen so many women have taken such political roles in the country already. And that's because of the support of our leadership.
Truly.
So I can't see any reason why a woman should stop. Unless her priority is otherwise. So again, I always say, know your priority in life. No one to judge you. No one allowed to judge you. Whatever your priority is, stick with that. Be consistent and go for it.
Go for it.
With an open heart and a mind, At one point in my life, I did subside from a career. I mean, working at office. Because at the time, my priority is my kids, right?
True.
And they're always my priority, kids and family, of course, and will always continue to be. But then you try to find balance. By the time they grown up, and then you can have more time for yourself, where you can take off where you stopped. Or I never really stopped because I always stayed with research and teaching in universities. And just when you're ready to join again, the industry in more formal, full-time job, then do it if it is again convenient for you and fulfilling you and your dreams.
So one piece of advice, what would you leave us with, Marwa? What is it that we should be looking up as one motto in life?
Be happy with what you're doing. Really, be happy. Enjoy it. Enjoy the journey. Don't look only for the result of that journey, because you will miss out, right? If you're just running after that target, you'll miss out a lot of nice and fun things during that journey. And it's, again, all what matters is the journey, not the end line, the finish line.
Right. True. It's how you make the most of your journey while you were in it. Rather than just be like, oh my God, I'm trying to chase and I'm not getting there.
That will be a natural result again. It's enjoy the journey, be focused with your journey, consistent and committed to that journey, and everything else will come as a natural result.
5 to 10 years from now, we talked so much about leadership, the support that you got from the country. Such an honor to represent a country like UAE. Where are we seeing this transition happen? Dubai is the place, or UAE is the place to be. Where are we now going to take this forward from the leadership perspective, from the perspective that you understand and represent the country? Where do you see is, how high are we going with this bar again now?
Beyond the sky.
Beyond the sky.
That's the true.
Wow.
We never settle for less than number one, of course.
Of
and
course.
we always seek for better and the best of everything. And
Yes.
that's the mindset the leadership have, the citizenship, the citizens, and even locals and non-locals.
Yes.
They start to adopt the same
Yeah, truly.
vision and mindset. And I always say it starts from the leadership and then it's spread
Top down,
to
yes.
the locals and expats in the
Yes,
country,
yes.
and which makes a very strong society
Sure.
and country eventually. And you'll never settle, and you keep moving on forward. Whatever life is offering, you'll just work with that and evolve because that's the mindset. You don't stop there and you don't get comfortable in your zone.
The one example of this is the safety that is in this country.
Yes.
Again, this is something that was started by the people of this country. And as someone who is an expat but born and raised here, my family here for the last 5 decades, I feel the safest. After being in multiple countries around the world, I feel the safest to be in this country as a woman. And I think this is also the synergy that was practiced
That's true.
by the citizens of the country, which as an expat we adapted to and we now truly practice. So it is not just for someone who's been here all her life and calls this place home, but a lot of new expats, immigrants that have moved into this
That's
country also have to say about UAE or Dubai, if I may say so. Well, that's a lot of what we are looking forward to do in this country as well. At Zoho, we opened our first data centers here in Dubai and Abu Dhabi. So we are committed to growing with the country and follow the vision 2030 of, being the
That's
number
amazing.
one
Yeah.
in the space of tech and AI. And with visionaries like you, I'm sure you're leading the right path. Thank you so much,
Thank you
Marwa,
so
for
much.
joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Well, it was simple. Be happy, focus on the journey, and while you're in the journey, enjoy it. Rest, everything will follow. Thank you so much for tuning in for today's episode. We see you in the next one.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.